I have so many questions to ask you, and all of them really have to do with the initiatives that the Trump administration has started. The latest one being that they may be repealing this 2009 endangerment finding, the federal government's formal conclusion that greenhouse gas emissions are a threat to our health. What does this mean if the United States actually does go ahead with this?
Thanks for having me. These are very confusing and shocking times for us in the scientific community. It seems that we, 21st century, we can't even go against science if our ideology supports that. Imagine just a few years ago, there would have been a decision that coronavirus and COVID-19 is no threat to human health, when the scientific community were warning us about its dangers and what the consequences could have been. And now we are seeing something that the scientific community has consensus about is being questioned or is going to be denied. The problem is that we cannot have trials and errors. We have a limited time to take action and battle and push back, and we are just gambling. This is a Russian roulette game with people's lives.
Yeah, you are so right about that. And on top of everything else, and I'm just going to give you an idea of all the measures the Trump administration has taken since coming into office for Trump's second term. They've also withdrawn from the Paris Agreement. Donald Trump called it unfair, one-sided ripoff. And the United States now joins Iran, Libya, and Yemen as the only countries who have not adopted this landmark agreement from 2015. What kind of message, Kaveh, does that send to the rest of the world?
The issue that we have, again, is that these disruptions and the arguments about them could have been constructive if they were presented in, with fair criticism. There are problems and deficiencies with the Paris Agreement, the UN system, and so on. But they're the best multilateral, the mechanism we have for multilateralism. The Paris Agreement was the best agreement we could achieve. A lot of countries for a long, long time have been warning us about the deficiencies they have, the unfairness issues, the injustice issues, and so on, especially the global South countries. But what we are doing right now is just throwing away what we have collectively achieved as the world. Scientists coming together with diplomats, with politicians, societies, activists, and that's our collective victory. It's not perfect. It has issues, and now you're throwing it away. Who does it? The world leader, the country that has been a leader in that game. The world scientists, some of the best scientists of the world are coming from from the United States. The best research on climate change was being funded and supported by the United States. And all of that are going away. And imagine how the world, other countries would react to this, because the shame and the cost of no action on climate change drops when the richest country on the planet, it says that, they're not interested in it.
Yeah, and the administration has also stripped mentions, even the mention, Kaveh, of the word climate change and global heating from government websites. Farmers have actually joined a lawsuit suing the agriculture department because they're saying this is a purge of vital climate information. So what is the implication for farmers when they can't get vital data, that helps them to adapt to climate impacts like extreme conditions, flooding, fires, and then, of course, the impact on food security?
I think this administration, as far as we know, it has been open to free speech, free data, and so on. So this is kind of against what they have been advocating for. What's interesting here is that we know that there was a lot of support in farming communities and areas relying on agriculture and industrial agriculture for this administration. Now, the very same people who supported this administration are being threatened because the data that doesn't support their ideology is being banned and removed. And you know, it's again like, you know, you have a patient with a lot of problems, and the doctors have prepared, have done a lot of studies and over the years, and they have prepared the data, and the person who is in charge of the surgery room says, let's throw all of that away because I don't like that. So farmers had a lot of fair criticisms to a lot of climate policies that were ignoring them. And this is not only the United States, it's the rest of the world. We have seen it in Europe, Canada, lots of other places where they were saying that there are other aspects of climate change that you should pay attention to. That was a fair criticism. Now what we are seeing is that those farmers who had criticisms are being threatened because their future is in danger, because if we throw everything away, those people are going to be the ones that are going to be impacted with droughts, with extreme weather conditions, with a lot of things that we're supposed to protect them down the road. And imagine the impact of that on you know, at the global scale, where countries are fighting about, you know, about food security, trades of foods are being impacted, and the new nationalism, tariffs, and all these things that are targeting the trades and the efficiency of the movements of goods and food around the world will have tremendous impact that we are not familiar with. This is the change of the world order.
All right, Kaveh Madani, such an important conversation. Thank you for coming on.